Who was a junior ambassador in 2010 and peace ambassador in 2017, to complete the interview of a professional member of our BC. So since the entire BC couldn't be here today, we've collected questions from each of our BC members, and we will play them, and then Leo will answer them, and we will upload this video.
Really happy to be here to talk to Alice today and share my experiences of both the APCC and how it's helped me with my now business ventures. So currently I'm actually working on a digital platform that has the goal of inspiring our members in our community to be curious and to actually reward them for going out and exploring opportunities to learn and to engage with the local community, whether it be nonprofits, local businesses, or even corporate entities. So, Alice?
Yeah, so the first person we're going to hear from is Jamie.
Hi, I'm Jamie Marlowe, and I went to Fukuoka as a JA in 2016. It had always been a dream of mine to go to Japan ever since I was little. Leo, we both share a love for Japan. What sparked your interest in Japan? What do you regard as your greatest achievements for the APCC, and if you could change anything, what would it be?
Jamie, that's definitely a loaded set of questions there. Just on the first one, I think my love of Japan really, came the same way that everyone else's did. It's ingrained with American culture, right? I would say that, from anime to local Japanese restaurants, you just have that experience, even as a young American child. So that's where I got it originally. And I'd say definitely my greatest achievement within the APCC would be becoming Bridge Club president, and then going to the PA meeting in 2017 and really getting to share that experience and that new perspective that I was able to bring. And honestly, if I could change anything, it would be just being more connected, being more active, just trying to engage some inactive members that maybe we haven't reached out to recently.
So the next person we will hear from is Jenny.
Hi, my name is Jenny Suresh, and I was a junior ambassador in 2012. How do you plan on rewarding exploration, and how will that encourage curiosity? And also, was there anything about your time as a junior ambassador or a peace ambassador that really encouraged you to pursue this topic or this field that you're currently working in? And if so, what was it?
Yeah, so as far as rewarding exploration, really the goal is to show you things that you might not have looked out or reached out for yourself, and then putting an incentive behind that. So kind of putting a carrot on a stick and saying, hey, if you read this article or if you watch this video so you can learn a little bit more about Japanese culture or a little bit more about a local American restaurant that might be in Japan or something like that, you would actually be incentivized to go out and take that extra step. That's really the goal there. And there was definitely a lot of things in my time as JA as well as PA that really led me to want to pursue something like this. I think the biggest was just in myself gaining more perspective. The more I went out of my comfort zone, the more I interacted with new things, the more I learned. And I want to share that experience with everyone else. I want to give an incentive for other people to be able to learn similar things that I actually learned, or maybe even very different things.
Do you have a specific example or particular anecdote to share about one time that you went outside of your comfort zone that really helped you see the value of exploration?
Yeah, I would say, the number one thing would just be the baths, right? I have never, ever used a public bath before, and I would have never, ever, ever experienced something like that just due to my own self-conscious behavior. And, experiencing that with my host family was probably one of the most memorable and one of the fondest moments of my entire experience. And something like that, that I want to be able to incentivize everybody to go out and look for those opportunities to explore the world.
More public baths.
More public baths, yes.
Great. Next, we're going to hear from Haley.
Hi, I'm Haley McMenemy. I went to Japan in 2013 as a junior ambassador. And Leo, I would like to know, what do you think the APCC has done for you? And how do you think it has affected you and how you live your life now? Thanks.
That's a great question, Haley. I think, the APCC has affected my life in so many different ways. But again, it's about the perspective. It's about being able to see firsthand, right? There are other people in this world with us, and they're not that different, right? But there are some things that are very unique to them that we need to go out and learn. And really having that added perspective only encouraged me to go out and seek even more perspective on my own outside of the APCC, as well as wanting to nurture that type of experience for others.
Great, so we're next going to hear from Will.
Hi, my name is Will Owen, and I was a JA in 2017, and I have 2 questions. How has the APCC helped you with your business, and what activities did you do as a PA?
Always great to hear from you, Will. I'd say, it's affected my business in, again, more ways than just one, but really being able to directly communicate with internationals to understand what their regional problems are and how solutions can be solved for their specific lives, right? Creating an educational platform is more than just the people around me, but it's, being able to spread that into an international community. And I think that's really what the BCPN is able to provide for me. As far as my experiences as a peace ambassador, I'd say some of the activities that we did were, we went out to a temple, but we went out to a temple, ate at a lot of really great restaurants, but more or less we got more intentional group time with people that were, maybe a little bit who are thinking about more than just having fun, who are thinking about, solving a problem, having a conversation, really understanding the individual characteristics of our regions and trying to discuss how we could maybe come up with solutions to better our individual lives and the lives of our communities.
Next, we will hear from Peyton.
Hi, my name is Peyton Davey, and I have 3 questions. So my first question is, what impact does being a peace ambassador have on your school life, and what impact does it have on extracurricular activities? And my second question is, how did your second trip to Japan as a peace ambassador differ from your trip as a junior ambassador? And my third question and final question is, what other tasks and jobs do you do as a peace ambassador? Thank you.
Yeah, so I'd say that, being a PA, it actually helps you in school and your other extracurricular activities. It allows you to bring this new approach at looking at the world or looking at problems. Being able to think of, how would someone from a completely different country, a completely different culture, how would they approach this problem? And it makes you more capable of outside of the box thinking. Or, maybe thinking of a solution that your neighbor that didn't go to Japan 2 times, was able to think of. And as far as, other activities, I'd say being connected with so many other people from so many other different regions where I can pick up my phone and have a conversation with someone that I met in Japan, that's from Tahiti or that's from Indonesia. That just allows me to bring that experience then into my other experiences and my other activities where, I can actually invite, Sarav or Wika to a group chat with myself and then someone else who's sitting right across from me who's in Model UN or something like that. So in that respect, it's a huge advantage. As far as, how being a PA differs from being a JA, I feel like when you go as a JA, the goal is to be as immersed as possible in Japanese culture. But not only Japanese culture, be as immersed as possible in international culture and the understanding of, there's just other people here. We need to appreciate that. And just having that be a shocking experience for the very first time. Once you go back as a PA, you're a little bit more seasoned. You've experienced a couple more things just in your own, home country, as well as, through the interactions that you've held with the JA members that you interacted with the first time you went. You're able to hold a more mature conversation. It's about coming back to discuss the real problems, to discuss, what the future actually looks like for international communication, international relations. But also, being able to just see the growth in people and in someone that, you lived had a very similar experience to, and how different, their lives ended up from yours, and being able to share in that experience. And as far as other tasks and jobs that we do as PA, obviously the discussion has a lot to do with that, but more direct and long-term interaction with the Bridge Club Japan. I think there was a huge focus in actually engaging with high school Japanese students, which I thought was incredibly beneficial, both for the Japanese students to be able to see, 30 to 40 different countries at one time, as well as for us to be able to get a better understanding of not just our host families, children and their siblings and things like that, and the people in their community, but being able to see a broader range of students, and being able to, communicate with them directly for a long period of time. The camp being a week long, you really get to know some people to a level that you don't get with just a 30-minute school visit, right? You're not talking to everybody. You're not understanding their lives. You're not understanding their childhood and things like that.
I just wanted to add to one thing that Leo said about how knowing all of these different peoples is a huge advantage to like your school life and your extracurricular life. I'd also say that meeting people from all of these different countries makes me much more aware of international issues. So for example, in August, there were these really big protests in Bangladesh about the safety of their public transportation system, and a lot of people were injured or killed actually in these protests, and the whole country was kind of in chaos. And knowing that I had a friend, the BC president of Bangladesh, knowing that she was there and that she was in the capital city Dhaka, it made the issue much more personal to me. So I actually wrote to her and asked her if she was okay and if there was anything, however small, that we could do to help. So personally knowing people in these countries whenever there are crises, aside from feeling like an international family and all of that, it definitely makes these issues much closer to your heart and makes you want to take action on them definitely more than if we didn't know these people in these different countries.
Absolutely.
So lastly, we will hear from Sam.
Hey, it's Sam Katz, JA 2012, and my two questions for you, Leo, are: what is your most fond memory as a APCC member, and where do you see yourself going into this program the next couple?
Yeah, great question, Sam. I think my fondest memory was shout out to J-Prob. She was a peace ambassador in 2010 from India, and I don't know, something really connected with her and I there. She gave me piggyback rides all over the camp, and being able to interact with someone who wasn't even just my age, someone older, and being able to have that direct relationship and being able to continue that relationship, over video chats and over messaging all of these years. That's just been that is the best experience I could possibly give, like just that direct connection for such a long period of time. So someone, a real friend, really. And where do I see myself going with APCC? Well, I see myself being involved as long as the APCC is, still around. Whether it be taking up the role as president again at some point or going back as a BCIO head member. Really, anything that the Bridge Club needs, anything that the APCC needs, right? My goal is to be able to bring that JA experience to as many students as possible. I think that was maybe one of the most fundamental steps to my development as a person, and I think being able to share that with as many young bright minds as possible is really what I want to accomplish in the totality of my life. So the APCC has a lot of direct relation to that.
So that's the end of the questions that we collected from our BC members. Now my two questions for you, Leah, are completely different, so I'll ask them one at a time. My first question for you is, the BCPN has recently launched a new internship program that you are now eligible for. What country do you most want to intern in, and why?
Oh, that's a hard one. Honestly, I would probably have to say Japan. being able to go back and, spend some time really immersing myself in that culture, really understanding not only the social values and the cultural values, but the business practices as well. I think that would be deeply engaging. Being that, Japan has such a great economic hold on the world, being the third biggest economy and all, that would be definitely where I would want to go.
And my second question to you, Leo, is we're all really busy. It's difficult sometimes to keep in touch with people that we met, when we were 11 years old or even as a PA. How do you find time to keep in touch? How do you make it a priority? And how do you make it easy for yourself?
I don't think I make it easy on myself. I think that, our direct connection to digital tools has made it incredibly easy, right? I no longer have to sit here and write 100 letters in order to communicate with everybody that was a PA during my year. I just have to hop on my phone and get in my Facebook group message and send, a reminder anytime I want. But as far as connecting directly, I don't think that I necessarily make it a priority. It's something I really want to do. I go out and I really think, what did my friend do today? Let me, ask. What did my family do? What did my host brother, how did he do on his tests? I want to know that kind of information. And because it's so directly accessible, it really isn't, there really isn't a barrier. But I would definitely say, as I've moved through the academic range and as, I've increased the number of extracurricular activities that I'm doing and participating in, as well as, starting my own business and things like that, it has gotten harder to have as much free time, even to do the things that I want to do. So, just making sure that I see it as not only a personal priority, but as well a business priority. I think that, when I think about developing these long-term relationships, it doesn't just help me socially and make me feel good that I'm connecting with people, but it could have huge implications on how successful an international launch might be, or being able to understand an international perspective. So in that sense, it's not only a personal priority, but a business responsibility.
Well, that concludes our interview of Leo. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just want to thank Alice. She's a great BC president, and thanks for putting all this together for us.
Yeah, well, we all want to thank Leo for his time, and we hope to see you soon at a next meeting.
Awesome. Hey guys.